down the music a little bit. Ooh. That's the other down. Okay. So in the last stream, we finished Samuel Jackson, and then I just finished this one recently off, not live. And today we're gonna be working on Kendrick. Let me see if the sound's working good. Check, check, check. And double check. Everything's working correctly. Okay. This delay always trips me out. Alright, so today we're gonna be working on Kendrick. Microphone is working. For some reason I can't hear the video. There we go. Figure out the sound stuff. Alright, so yeah, so these are all sketches I've started before, and some of them are finished. Yeah. So the topic of the day is Kendrick. Let's see how it sounds. Oh yeah, so on the stream, the music is audible. This works. Oh no, it mustn't. Music is okay. Let's see what happens. Let's take it off. Put it back on. Does it work? Yep. The music is back on. So low. Alright, bring it up a little bit. Alright, that's good. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started with this Kendrick pose. So where I started with the pose, it's Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to check if we were live on TikTok. It's not working on that. Okay. This is we're live. Yes, we are. Okay. We are live. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing a Kendrick drawing. I'm just organizing all these screens because I have to organize them. Okay. Oh, that'll take up this. There we go. All right. So let's get started with this thing. 3 hours later. So this is a old post that I had done, but I might as well restart it because my lean is way too leaning. Well, leave it on the bottom there. Okay. So many little steps before I start. I got the wrong palette. Okay. So at one point I did want to do some stylized thing, but I'm just gonna try to get that essence for now. Turn off this layer. Okay. And there we have a rough pose in a couple of seconds. Okay. Let's see something. Yeah, the lean is way too strong. All right, let's capture that big smile. Okay, microphone. Hey, what up, Lou? How you doing? Also, I don't know if you got my response about how the move is going. Well, is that here? It's 1 a.m. I was supposed to have been start at 12 or 11 something, but yeah, setting up and making sure I have the right reference and all these things me dio como una hora. Yeah, but I've been trying to do more live, and every time I'm gonna do it, I'm like tired, and I end up doing nothing. Me duermo. How you been? All right. I see you live Instagram. Say you left. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'll be on Instagram more than on TikTok, but I have to start making the switch to get more on TikTok because there's more engagement here, but I don't know. I still have like this little pristine feeling about Instagram. And it's not healthy, but it's not healthy in terms of like, because I should be putting up more videos here. But I'll be sending all the memes and all the videos to friends and stuff on that platform. Oh yeah. How do you feel about? I don't like Instagram. It's kind of boring. Oh yeah. Yeah, it sort of got quiet, very quick after the pandemic. And I understand, it just looks, I like the look of it. Like you have like a whole gallery, and then I like that you could post. I mean, you could post picture here too on TikTok, but it just feels weird. I don't know. I have to make the switch in my mind and accept that the world has changed. I barely see any other like the people that I follow, and I'll be getting on. Well, somehow I get sucked into the real stuff, and I just scroll and I scroll for hours and forget that I gotta go look at specific artists sometimes to find like inspiration. What were some of the things that you would look for on Instagram that you feel like TikTok has given it to, like giving you more of the entertainment? Ads in the gallery for pictures, but videos and algorithms. Yeah, it's so random, the algorithm. And then, I mean, for the most part, a lot of the people that do TikTok, they're also on Instagram. I do see a lot of the same content sometimes. But I think you were sending me a lot of artists at first, like, and for some reason my algorithm on TikTok was all messed up. So I wasn't like on my art page. I wasn't watching any artists. But recently I got in and started engaging, and it's much better now. Because I also started doing like over and over. Yeah, the same thing over and over. I started doing video game streaming, but I started separating like my pages, my other Instagram, my personal one from this one, because I was getting too much video game stuff on this Instagram, and I wanted to get a lot of the art stuff. You're working right now? No, yeah, you be up late then, or you got home not too long ago. Cause it's what 3 o'clock over there. Mm. I'm home back to this. What time you work tomorrow? Ah, okay, I got you. Oh, okay. But yeah, so since we got to Arizona, everything's been, I mean, it's quiet out here compared to um, New York, of course. But it's exactly what we needed at this point. Like, yeah, you just have to make it work. Make sure that everything goes according to plan. Yeah, this leg is a little too long. Bring it up. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, so the plan is to. That's a good question. What's the plan? To make sure that everything flows and the little details get sorted out. Like we're renting a car here, and this month it's about to finish, so we gotta get another car and just keep the work flowing, pretty much. That's what I mean by the plan. Like keep all the. I have a couple of clients that I gotta finish some stuff for, like a website and a book, poster. But I have to keep getting more clients, so I gotta keep showing up, and then the other plan is to make this internet thing, you know, make it work for me. All right, let's see. Let's make them a little bit bigger. Yeah, I'm working. I'm also doing TaskRabbit, which is a little slow out here since people don't know too much about it. But I be getting gigs like maybe 3 a week. A little much lower than I was getting 3 a day in Philadelphia. Like 3 different tasks. Um, but yeah, it was keeping me busy from making art or doing anything because I would be getting home so tired. But I feel like this is a good breather to get back into what I really enjoy and do a little bit of both, because I also like talking to people, leaving the house. And since I'm working from home, I've been home a lot. So that's one thing that I like about TaskRabbit. What's it like out where you are at? So it feels like a suburb and like next to a highway. It's a little weird, but it's nice, it's quiet, you can walk around. It is a little warm. Like these past couple of days, it's been a little warmer than usual, but nothing too crazy. Because if 6 o'clock hits and you have shorts on, best believe you're gonna freeze. Because the moment that sun hides, man, it's like winter. Winter arrives. Or in the morning when you open the door and you're in the shade, it feels like winter. It's like 80 degrees or 70 degrees, but in the shade, it feels like 45. But it's very nice. Like we enjoy it. Like the people are very 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 nice. Um, the baby likes it a lot too. Hey, what's up? I sold. I'm also trying to draw Kendrick and can't quite get his face. Yeah, his face is very complex. I'm on TikTok and on YouTube at the same time. Kendrick's face, like he's a little tricky. Like I've drawn him before. Let's see, where are you, Kendrick? And yeah, his face is very hard. He's one of the hardest faces I've ever drawn, I may have to say, because it's hard to figure out his symmetry. Um, and I've tried drawing him multiple times in the past. I think that time I sort of got him right. Like you could clearly tell that's Kanye. You could clearly tell this is Snoop Dogg. You know, and Snoop Dogg is one of the easiest people in a way to draw. But Kendrick's face, man, it's complicated. Like, yeah. But in this one, because he's a little bit further out, he he feels easier in my mind. I still haven't gotten to his face yet, so let's see what happens when I get there. I'm just like blocking things out. Well, it's just practice, you know. If there's some things that help, uh, like angles and stuff like that, but it is hard, man. Like it's not that you, it's not you, you know. But you know, you just have to keep at it, even if it sucks the first time. Second time gets a little easier. Yeah, you see, like right now, this doesn't look like anybody. Oh, thank you for subscribing, man. Appreciate it. He doesn't look like anybody, and it's on, and I gotta keep going, you know, like, cause if I stop right here and try to get like all his features right, I'm just gonna be wasting time. Like they say, the first thing to do is like to block it out. Like this is my first pass, and it was, you know, I'm like he's leaning way too much, and then yeah, so started there. Now I'm back to this, and then now I want to get a little bit more details. And I already see like um and I do want to go for like a stylized version of Kendrick, and I'm like debating whether I should go stylized or try to make it more realistic. Like I did Samuel L. Jackson, the Uncle Sam character, and it was sort of more on the realistic cell shaded side. But with Kendrick, I want to go like in this style that I see if I'll show you. Sort of like that's too cartoony, but in sort of a relaxed state of mind where I draw monsters. Like sort of like I don't know if this would be too exaggerated, but this style that I barely show or barely do. Um, but yeah, so I'm just letting the piece develop itself. I don't want to put too much pressure, you know. That's also what makes us quit beforehand or stop whatever we're doing. All right, let's. Okay. And then I've seen a lot of the Kendrick drawing that people have done, and it's more cartoony. So, and it looks great, man. Like I just saw somebody post, literally, like right as I was trying to go live, I saw somebody posted a video of how to draw Kendrick an hour ago. This same pose. This has been the iconic pose. Which Kendrick pose are you drawing, or which Kendrick face? Well, that's probably gonna be hard to say. But is it this one from the Super Bowl performance? And right now I'm like trying to correct some of the little details and trying to get some of the shapes. Like oh yeah, this is a video. Okay. Shapes and angles, right? But they always say to focus on like big big shapes first, so you don't waste too much time. I'm almost ready to go and start inking. Let's see how long have I been going at it. And another thing, I want to get faster. Um, I'll be trying to measure my time and see how long have I been going. about 30 minutes. All right, let's see. The other drawings that I want to do is like the Goku from Daima. Those are the ones that I like Goku and Vegeta. I'll be always mad late on trends. Like this happened 3 weeks ago, and I'm still trying to catch up. But that's how it is. I just gotta continue. Don't think about it too much, because the moment I start thinking, I just start over planning, over producing, and for no reason. Like right before I started drawing this, I was looking for a reference for Dragon Ball Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima, and I wasted time. I'm like, I could have just started this because I may not have time to draw, to do Goku, because I was like, oh, if I finish it quick, I should draw Goku. It's a portrait of him smiling. Not sure where. Okay. Yeah, his face is very little complex. All right, so let's see. All right, let me guess. Talking about face. I should get started on this face. One thing that I do like to make is my eyes a little bit bigger than the regular photos. But his eyes are like squinting in this one. So I don't know if it would matter, but okay. What do you like to draw usually? And my sketches are super messy always. Let's see if I just add his chin. There's certain elements that I usually like to separate, like the jewelry and glasses, or any extra things that they have, like accessories. All right, I think I'm ready to start inking. And I use this weird, like I love the pencil sketch when I'm sketching. Like if I, let's see, turn this into alpha line, fill there. So I like the look that this pencil gives me, but for some odd reason, I started using this square, sort of like square brush, like a chisel brush, and I became very fond of it. Like I started using this brush in Clip Studio Paint, and when I came to Procreate just about like a year ago, I had to make my brush because I wanted to keep the same aesthetic of the drawings. So yeah, so I made it and I like it. I just sometimes like it was very jittery, so I had to add some of the line control, which feels like cheating in a way, um, to me, anyways. But I just accept it. I'm like, you know what? I like the. I don't have to worry so much about my line control. And a long time ago, I had gotten Clip Studio Paint, and because it felt very like the program was helping me draw. Like when you do this, it just looks so smooth. I was like, no, that's too easy. My pride was way too high. I was using at that point Sketchbook Pro, and I feel like Sketchbook Pro was giving me like the more honest answer. But I'm like, you know what? Let's take the help as we get it. Sorry, I got behind. I'm trying to practice portrait, especially values. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's a good practice, like you choose one thing and you focus on that. Make a list of uh of people that you like or musicians and stuff. Um, because the one thing is like if you draw people that anyone can recognize, you start practicing your likeness, right? If you just draw any random person, nobody cares, or you don't even care sometimes if they look like the person. But I would say uh, do like portrait sessions instead of focusing sometimes. Well, in terms of practice, to just not think about, just grab some random guys and just draw them to get in the habit of um, capturing essence. Because likeness is a whole another beast, man. Like to capture likeness, sometimes it takes a lot of hours and hours and hours in one piece. Sometimes that's what we need. We need hours and hours in one piece, or at times we just gotta let our minds like have no stress and just go for it. This guy looks like a baby. So, getting back into the topic of faces, right? I may leave the face for last because I already see I'm gonna be stuck in it for a little bit. Uh, yeah, it's awesome, like when you achieve that point of like getting the portrait to look like your drawings to look like the person. But then there's this weird thing that happens after you get there. You're like, oh yes, now I can draw realistic and I can capture people's essence. Now you're like, but now I want to tell stories, and now I want to, create some things. Because I used to do a lot of realistic portraits, like paintings in a way, like digital paintings, and then it was taking way too long, and I needed to feed the algorithm, as we say now, and I switched my style from sort of painterly like, and at that time I think AI hadn't kicked out yet, so um, I won't say that that's a reason why I also changed my style. Um, but I changed my style from realistic to more comic like, and it was because I needed to produce things quicker, and a digital painting was taking way too long. And I was like, all right, I need to move forward. I need to keep going. But then everything has its challenges. Everything is like you will find a hurdle even when you think you solved the problem, and then you got to solve it again and again and again. All right, I think I'll leave his face like that for now. Let's move on to the body. Symmetry is so hard. at an angle. I have to get better at measuring. Yeah, it's a, and in a way, everything is all about angles. Um, if you get the right angle every time, you get everything accurate. You know, they used to do this thing of like measuring with a pencil to get the angle, and then you try to get those angles back to your page. And at first, I didn't know. Oh, I'm covering the drawing. Let me move this. My head down here. Um, yeah, symmetry is is very hard. I mean, there's ways to go around it, to go about it. Like if it's digitally, you can just click a button and everything is symmetrized. Well, you start drawing with symmetry on. But if it's physical, if you're drawing in pencil or pen, then that's super hard. The other good thing is that no one's face is perfectly symmetrical. So sometimes we worry too much about having everything like so perfectly, and then like you can fix it later. Because the moment you're so stuck like focusing on one thing, if you leave it, you come back and you'll see it. Like the eyebrows, I just noticed that my eyebrows are like one is up higher than the other. But I'll come back to that later. It's always good to move around the piece and let things breathe as you start moving down and going about the piece. And yeah, so I'll let the chain, and I like to do the jewelries last, the earrings, the chain. Took me so long to finally say I gotta draw this guy. I was like, everyone has already drawn him. What's the point, you know? But I'm like, I gotta do it for me. I gotta do it for me. Thank you for yeah, stopping by and conversating. I really appreciate it. Started streaming recently, and I've missed a couple of days of my routine. But you know, it's all about picking up those habits and keep going, keeping it going. Okay. I'll leave the microphone for later. Huh. Distance way longer than I. Alright, so let's move it over just a bit. Jacket is way straighter. Now I'm looking closer at things, and you know, we sometimes draw what we think we see, not really what we see or what's on the page. Because we're used to creating symbols and things like a jacket on the side. If he's leaning, it's like that, right? So his body would be like this. If he's leaning, but his jacket is straight on the picture. There we go. Got this thing curves back. Okay, we got that there. Let's see. One of my challenges is not to go over my lines. Like I try, you know, to take this serious. Like I'm inking, so I shouldn't be feeling like I'm sketching. You can see my sketches are way. There's no. I'm just going right. There's no rule. Sometimes try again to say like, oh, don't go over my lines. But when I'm inking, I make more of an effort to not go over my lines. Have this look. All right, let's keep going. What I usually would do on my lives is just I'll do the sketch and then I'll do a couple of sketches and whatnot, and then I'll finish it off offline. But today I wanted to push myself just a little bit more and get in with the pressure of the ink. Gotta go, but I'm glad found your channel. Do you post? Yeah, I'll leave the replays on. I have to get used to cutting clips and stuff and putting them in shorts. I just have to find my rhythm. But yeah, I do leave my videos up. So yeah, thank you for joining in, passing by, and subscribing. You watching a new show? What show am I watching? I'm watching a lot of crap actually. I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching a lot of Dominican crap, farandula. What was the last show I was watching? Oh, I watched animes. I've been watching a lot of animes. Last I remember, I was watching Zero Leveling. Zero Leveling. Um, what the other anime? I was watching One Piece for a little bit, but I got exhausted. Like I take breaks watching One Piece, and I am like, oh damn, I'm never gonna finish. Um, watching One Piece. I don't like watching a lot of people show, like a lot of real life action. I finished watching Attack on Titans. A lot of animes. How about you? What shows are you watching? Yeah, I'm bouncing back and forth from YouTube to TikTok, and I was trying to get. Let me see if I can still get it. I was trying to have this little. I have a setup here with like 3 screens, but not very efficient. Uh, let's see if I get it this time. I got this new tablet, like a Google Chrome, and I was able to do split screen, and now I'm trying to get it again, but for some reason it doesn't let me do it. Yeah, here we go. I might have it. Did I get it? Did I get it? Yes. Okay. So I have split screen here, so I don't have to look up so much. I haven't watched anime in years. I did read Solo Leveling. Oh, okay, great, great. What do you think about it? What do you think of Solo Leveling? And I heard season 2 is coming out now in March, or it already came out or something like that. Yeah, my friend put me onto solo leveling, and I thought it was I thought it was really cool. Like I really like the concept of the show, you know. Here we go. I like the how did the season. Season one was when he. I don't know if. Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of people watching, so if you don't want to spoil, just skip ahead if you're watching this later. um, Season one was when he discovered the power of summoning the demons or summoning those who he fought, and he defeated. Oh, damn. Okay, so how do I do this? I want people to see what I'm looking at. Let me. Alright. I'm drawing Kendrick's foot, and I want to see if I can do it in a way that people can see it. Let me just make this a little smaller. The end of the show was a little confusing, but they did alternate ending. Oh, really? I haven't watched it. I watched it on Netflix, I think. No, where did I watch? Did I watch it on Netflix? Don't remember if I watched it on Netflix or somewhere else. Probably somewhere else because I don't think they have it on Netflix. But no, I haven't seen the alternate ending. So you rather read the manga than watch? I haven't gotten there yet in the show. I'm talking about the novel. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. How long have you been reading it now? Or what chapter are you on or season? Spending too much time on this foot. And this is where we gotta remember. Look at the shape. Look at the shape. I read it years ago. It's done already. Oh wow. So I mean, I appreciate that they do make him into show because I still I want to make books and stuff, but me personally, I don't. I'm not a avid reader. I would say, like I'm not very excited to read things. I'd rather watch them and hear them. So because I do want to make like animations and things like that, and seeing shows and for inspiration, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. How'd you hear about solo leveling, and why'd you decide to read it? All right, something. One leg took longer than the whole sketch. Right, let's leave it up. They have the apps. That's cool. They have the apps for audiobooks, or you can find Books on YouTube only. Yeah, no, I do. I used to do a lot more often before, but now I haven't really been uh, doing many books, many audiobooks. I did like the ones people tell you to read, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, and a couple of other more. The Four Agreements. I did all those in audio. Pretty cool books. But I wish I get into reading more because I really feel like I'm missing out on something. And I remember when I was in high school, I would I wasn't a reader either then. But this one book that they gave for free to all the students, it was like a novel about it's like my favorite book because I finished it. I finished the whole book and I read it and I enjoyed it, and something happened to my mind where I would like I'll draw what I'm reading, so I'll start seeing things in my head, and my imagination, bro, like it just blew up. Like I would look at a blank page and I would see the drawing before I even did anything, and I felt like I was like, dang, that feels amazing. And now, because obviously you're making all these scenes in your mind, so it's a great exercise for the mind, and I should remember that because it's very beneficial. What do you think you're missing out on by not reading? Yeah, so I'm missing out on that, like vivid imagination. Uh, and I think it would help a lot in terms of like creating stories, creating scenarios, seeing the things happening in my mind. Like how descriptive things have to be when you're reading for you to understand the scene, the setting. That's like super important because everyone always says like, oh, books are better than movies, and I agree. But I agree from the outside in because I haven't been reading. So people say like Harry Potter, the Game of Thrones, the books are better, the books are better, but I haven't read it. So I just from people's experience, I'm basing it off of. But like I said, when I was reading that one book, I've read a couple of books. I just never finished fully. Um, I was like very excited to draw because right now most of my drawings they're just doing nothing. They're just standing there. Like I'm just like doing people, um, just like on a regular pose, and these pictures they're like because I'm seeing it, I'm drawing it. But if I were to just um, but if I were to just draw something random, I wouldn't be like unless I plan it or unless it's for something, I wouldn't really go so deep as to put him in a situation or a scenario where the character looks alive or um he's more engaging. Dude, Tim, I have many books I haven't finished. Yeah, I have like a collection of books here, like one about dragons, one about angels, and two, three other books, and they're just like my fake library because they just stare at me. And even like I've been wanting to watch like some animes, and because they haven't translated them to English, I haven't really watched the like Daima, like Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Daima on Netflix. They have it only in Japanese, and I'm just like, ugh. I can sit down and watch it, but I always want to be doing something. It's not always good, you know, to watch the show and do something because you're missing out, especially like shows like that have some well so much action, yes, but Dragon Ball Z is very static sometimes. They love talking, and but I still enjoy it. Oh yeah, Dragon Ball. Yeah, it's a classic, man, and I feel like we all grew up with that and nurtured ourselves with Dragon Ball Z. But did you watch Daima? Or that's the one. So you saying that you're watching that now? But it's good to relax and watch something and put the phone down or brush or with a brush. Oh, nice. And how do you like it? How do you like Dragon Ball Daima? It's like GT. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I like. I've been watching like all the updates and stuff. Like, I just haven't seen the small details on like how they got there, how things happen. Being seeing people making fun of certain things, like because they're a little bit wild, I'll say, and sometimes not very creative. Like I heard they got a Majin Ku, like Majin Buu. Um, and yeah, but I do want to watch it. Like I just gotta wait. And for some reason, I like a lot of the trends that are happening in the art world and stuff. I almost never jump into them, but I have to be more proactive because I've seen so many things that I had ideas for things, and the time came and went for me to do something about it, and I missed my opportunity in a way, like missed my opportunity to jump on the trend or like because people are looking for those things, and I wanted to do certain things like put my twist on something. Like I did a Goku turning into a monkey piece a long time ago, but I just turned it into my own thing, and now I feel like I should finish that one, but make it into the Daima um, Goku. And it was let me just show you real quick. I have a bunch of folders. This Goku here. Well, this is not Goku. This is my own like rendition of a monkey boy. But I feel like the way that they designed the new Dragon Ball Daima, I have let me see if I just bring it up real quick. Um where is it? Yeah, so the way they designed Dragon Ball Daima, it sort of fits in the same look as this guy. So I might turn this drawing here into him that Goku into this drawing. And it's funny because even like there's so many things that already match. I just gotta like finish it or like just do something small and it will like look like it for some reason. Yeah, so at one point I was drawing a lot of like big arms, big forearms, and somehow that's the new style that they went with, which I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, so you see, and that's why like my creativity comes back. I'm like, oh, they're calling me. Join the fun. Join the like the whole uh whatever's happening with the art world. Join the talk of the town. And sometimes I'm like, just too tired. Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw the Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. I thought it was pretty cool. Like it's a different twist since Vegeta never turned into Super Saiyan 3 and he got his time to shine. What'd you think of his design? Mm-mm. I think I also saw that they had the a fusion of Trunks and Goten instead of um the fusion like this. They did the earrings. The I forgot the name of those earrings. But yeah, they fused in a different way and they got a different name. I think it's really cool. I think the way that they're telling their story with Dragon Ball Z, it's very inspiring to say like, if you write your story, you can always change it later. That's one thing that I'm getting from it. I'm like, wow, they really can do whatever they want, and you know, as long as it makes sense, like if they make it make sense. But they just went through all these different things, and oh yeah, the Batora. I remember if I saw that. Oh, okay. Or some people made it up. I've been seeing a lot of people making a bunch of stuff. They even put it on mods and Dragon Ball games. Toro. Let's see. But yeah, the trends be moving so fast for me that I'd be like, oh shit, like where was I going? What did it? Yeah, so I'm just like, you know what? I'll get to it when I get to it. If like if it matters, it would matter. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm just doing it for me to get back into making art and having fun. Because it's exhausting chasing like what's the hot new thing, what's the hot new show, what's the hot new trend. It's exhausting. So I'll be catching glimpses of it on Instagram. Like people send me things, or I watch some guy talk about it. The other thing that I wanted to catch up with was One Piece when he turned the I don't know what gear that was. Like his Super Saiyan God transformation when he went white shirt, white hair. I wanted to catch up to that because I thought it was pretty cool, but I just felt like, you know what? I'll get to it when I'll get to it. Let's see. That's what matters, having fun. Yeah, yeah. But sometimes we be too relaxed and we don't get to do nothing because we'd be like, so I always like to dance between two things. I'm like, am I doing too little? Am I doing too much? I always think it's important to keep that balance. To do things you like, but also do things you think other people may like also with your twist. Because if we just think, like sometimes we don't care about anything, and if we live like that all the time, then we won't do nothing. Have you been writing still? Have you been writing stories or whatnot? Yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like when you get inspired, you could be writing for hours, but then when you fall off, man, like it's so hard sometimes to get back into it. I remember when I was writing a story of one of my characters, El Campesino, that I was like making up his whole like scenario, his whole life and stuff, and I was like gone, bro. Like my again, like somebody that doesn't like I don't write too often. I do write notes and things like that. Um, Gwen Cam when Kama stop. Um, But when I was writing, like I was like, it just takes you somewhere else, and I think it's a great habit to have. You know, to just write for fun. Um, at first, like creative writing, and then you start discovering so many things that I'm like, wow. And then if that can make you money, that's also a beautiful thing. You know, like you make a whole bunch of stuff, and then somehow that could turn into somebody else entertainer and someone else's entertainment. I think that's pretty dope. All right, let's see. I didn't finish this, but like you said, it is about having fun. You know, like do something, have fun while you're at it. Um, because if not, like, why the hell are you doing it? Like, you're gonna torture your life. You're gonna torture yourself just because some people want to see something. Haven't been inspired. I've been writing, but not stories. Okay, what you been writing? Mm, 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 mm. Let's see. Yeah, foot is a little bit. Mm, mm. Oh, that what you've been writing? What kind of writing have you been doing? Well, something I've been writing is just like my to-do list, like things to do and not so fun, you know. Although I have been writing actually like updates about my life, like just like where I'm at in my mind. Sometimes like if I have too much going on and then I just went through a change or something, like I like to reflect on where I'm at, where like my life has gone, and yeah, I've been writing just like updates for myself to keep and to reflect back on how my life changed so fast in so little time. Yeah. Or ideas. Okay. Horrors. Oh, horrors. Oh, horrors from life. I thought it was like horror stories. Yeah, I mean, shit. Like, I think life gives you best inspiration you could ever think of to make up a story, you know? And that's one thing, right? Like, we sometimes choose, like, so I love making fiction stories, but life gives you all the freaking juices to add to a story, you know? So it's like, sometimes we're like, oh, where do we get our inspiration from? I'm like, no, it's right there. It's happening to you every day. You just don't want to see it, you know? Like, you can just grab whatever crazy stuff happened and just add a twist to it, and that becomes a whole new story, you know? And that's one thing that I also enjoy, like just twisting certain things that um, are like exaggerating on certain life dramas to, you know, make a good story. All right, let's see. 1 foot over here. And it's been almost, no, it's been an hour and change. Oh, thank you, by the way, for tuning in and chatting. And thank you for those who have come and gone. Appreciate you guys coming through. You know, one thing that Joel was he was working on horror like horror stuff, and he writes all the time. Um, he's wrote a couple of movies and a couple of shorts and stuff, and he had written like a scary movie, and I was like, wow, like where the hell did you come up with this thing? And um, I barely tap into that side of like writing. I do create like monsters and stuff for drawing, but I never create like backstories for them. And I hope one day like I can use them in my story. This whole time I've been talking and I thought my microphone was on. Let's see. Hello, hello. Okay. The music is gone. All right. And I have this headphones here to listen to the feedback, but obviously I can't hear it if I don't have it on. Yeah. The thing I noticed sometimes. This one to charge. I'm using wireless mics for the streams. And this is the downside of having wireless mics. They die. All right. Pum, 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 pum. All right, let's finish this guy now. Lots of work. How long is that going to take? Let's see. So it's been what? 89 minutes of scribbling and scrabbling. This is the hardest part, I say, like just the sketching part. Um After the sketching part, then the line art shouldn't take too long. Uh right now I just gotta solidify the line art, and then the painting process is sort of simple because I go with this cell shaded style. Like I'll show you real quick. I did the Samuel Jackson piece. So these can't say how long really they took. Probably like 3-4 hours. Um, but it does take a time, like especially after you get into it. Like the first pass is just like the rough one, and let me see. So this is the process so far. So I first did that a little while ago to capture the essence, to capture the mood of the piece, and then today I went and I fixed it up, and then I realized like it was way too exaggerated, the lean. Um, but I had already felt the pose, right? So I did this like probably like 30 something minutes. Let's see how long have I been drawing on this today. Created. So that was when the first time I created it was statistics. So it's been an hour and 41 minutes of drawing, right? Um, so an hour, probably like 3 hours and a half, almost 4 hours. But yeah, so trying to focus on like the big shapes, and then coming back and going back into shadows and things like that. Um, and then getting into the details. And earlier I was saying that I don't want to spend too much time in the face because Kendrick has one of the hardest face to draw ever. I what is like I try to draw my wife sometimes and it never turns out the way I want it. And then Kendrick came and I'm like, yo, this face is something about his face is like complex. All right, let's add some of the small details. And I like to grab like a smaller brush to add some of this some of these details. Let's see. The zipper. At one point, it felt like I was doing like a speed drawing. Then I was like, all right, relax, relax, just focus. Let's see. I've been doing too much like jumping around. So now I really gotta choose what the point of this is. All right, like let's see, pretty much. Okay, the microphone, the hoodie, the jacket. This is too small. I think this could be drawn on the bigger screen. Oh, okay, that's cool to see the progressions. Yeah, and I like to separate some of the layers. In the past, I used to do like more digital painting, and that was, that was fun, but it was a lot of work to do a painting. You know, in a way, because the liner is what takes the longest when you're doing this. Sometimes when you're doing digital painting, you could just make a big swoosh, and that turns into like something magical. Let's see. Let me take a standing up break. I haven't gotten up in about 2 hours. Oof, shake off. All right. I'm getting used to this streaming lifestyle. Or I wish I can get uh, the streaming lifestyle going, but it's been a struggle. Um, but yeah, I gotta remember to take some breaks to stand up and stuff. All right. Are you an artist, by the way? Let's see. All right, let's get to his face. I gotta remember, did he have a beard or not? Oh, cool, cool, cool. What kind of what's your jam? Like, what kind of things you draw? The writing artist. Oh, nice. What kind of stuff do you write? We were just having a conversation recently with one of my friends on the stream about writing and how it's such a beautiful art, you know, and how you can get lost in like the storytelling aspect of it. Well, like the development of the story. Um, and how I wish I would read more so that I can write more. But it's been my eternal struggle to enjoy reading. Oh, nice. Do you share your work online? Like how does a writer share their work online? I watch your layers. It's like oh yeah, yeah. Break it down for me if you can. Like, what's the process of storytelling? Like when you're writing, because I want to write my own things. Like I started writing, then I lose motivation, or I want to focus on drawing more than writing. What's your process like for writing a good story? Let's see. Mm-mm-mm. I was sharing that one of the things I enjoy most about reading was how much my imagination increased. Like I can see things in a piece of paper, like a blank piece of paper, and make up a story about it, and like translate exactly what I'm seeing in a paper. I was reading this one book called The Angel Experiment by James something, and it was like it took me to another dimension, and I was like, oh wow, this is what people talk about, like how the the book is way better than the movies. But yeah, I wish I would I'd get back into that. Mm. All right, let's leave the microphone there. Let's get back to this. I usually start with the general, then go into details. I usually know the ending. Ah, nice. So it's always recommended to have the ending set in order to go about the story. So they say the beginning and the ending, and then the middle is where like the magic happens. By the way, I'm live on Instagram. I mean, on TikTok and on YouTube. So I'm like going back and forth between people writing on TikTok, people writing on YouTube. A nice, like, nice little balance. Okay, cool, cool, cool. What are you working on right now? Are you writing any stories, or have you written anything recently? Mm. Let me move my face out of the camera. I mean, out of the canvas. So they're like, right here in the middle. Well, someone told me that the ending helps more. Huh. Procrastination. Oh, procrastination is the devil. Yes, indeed. That's why, like, so right now where I'm in Arizona, and time here is 2 a.m., 2:30. I was like, oh, I should do two streams today. I had like I was working on some stuff early, and then I was gonna take like a break, and this is the time that I get to stream. 12 hours, 13 hours later. All right. Yeah, man. It's the struggle of the creative, man. Like you get inspired and you write a couple of things, or I draw a couple of things, and then the inspiration leaves. Good thing is you can always pick it up where you left off, you know. Um, but sometimes a moment has passed, like especially for me, like when I'm drawing, if there's something like trendy, sometimes I have ideas to draw those things, and then the moment has passed, and now I'm like, what's the point of drawing that anymore if no one, like, the trend has moved on to something else. But like this is a testament to me to be like, all right, so even though the moment about Kendrick passed, I think I should still do it. I should still uh, do this iconic Kendrick piece because it's been what, like 3 weeks now since the halftime show, but it was so iconic that I feel like the time won't pass anytime soon. And even if it does, I'm like it's a great, like, I'm having fun at the end of the day. Mm. Did the mic way too long? Yeah. Oh, you're in New York. I grew up in New York. And I was just living in Philly for a little bit, and now I'm in Arizona. Been traveling around, making my rounds, learning about the world, meeting different parts of the world. What part of New York you're in? All right, let's see. Mm, all right, let's do some small details. Okay. Brooklyn, Long Island. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, the last years I lived in Brooklyn. I was living in Flatbush, and then the so I recently moved out of New York. I just lived there for a year, and I was living in East New York. But I really enjoyed living in Flatbush, man. Like, it was so much flavor, to say the least. No, East Flatbush to be exact. Let's see. Okay, so we got. Oh yeah, gentrified. Yeah, you know what's funny? Like, I would be on the train, and I was living almost the last stop of the two line. And I was like, I would count the stops where people are getting off, and I'm like, oh, people are still on the train. What's going on? If I'll be getting home late at night, I'll be wondering, like, where are people getting off? Where are people living these days? And it was interesting to see, like, how long people will stay on the train. Like, yeah, about now it should be only me, and then I'll be surprised because Yeah, it happened so fast though, like the gentrification. And yeah, I mean, I grew up in Harlem originally, so when I moved, like in 2015, I moved to Flatbush. It was um, it was already changing. We're like, all right, I guess that's how it is now. How long have I been drawing? I've been drawing, to be honest, since I was like 7, probably, or younger. I just never stopped drawing, like since I was a kid. But I went through so many different phases, and right now I'm just like trying to rediscover myself as an artist, because I went through a period of not drawing at all, like not doing much creative stuff. I lost, like, I had an Instagram with like 4,000 followers, and I lost that, and that sort of like took me down. I was like, ah, gotta start this thing all over again. And I was like, all right, I might as well take a break from doing art. And I still, like, I had some clients that I still work with, but I didn't post much on social media. So that's your gift. Yeah, you could say that. I like learning, and I feel like drawing is one of the things that really teaches you to learn constantly. You know, like a good artist is always learning a new method, a new thing to what's the new thing that I want to do. And um like I said earlier, I was doing digital paintings before. I'll be doing like sort of like realism portraits, and because of the speed of things, I decided to change it up into more comic book style, more line art. But this is what I started drawing when I was younger. Like I would draw like a lot of Dragon Ball Z characters, a lot of manga, or anime, let's say. Um, but yeah, I went through a bunch of different phases and a bunch of different changes, and now I'm getting back into it. What's your dream with writing? Like, what's your goal in terms of what do you want to achieve with your gift of as a writer? Boom, boom, boom. And I had a phase of like wanting to make music and like become a rapper, and I developed this whole like scenario and things. But it was just like it happened so fast, and I was like, all right, no, 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 I'm getting too far from what I really like. And then I decided to get back into let go of the music thoughts, um, and get back into art. I feel like I was losing myself very quickly. Your dream is to write novels, 6 to 9 novels. How many have you written so far? Like, what's your what have you been how far into your dream are you right now? All right, let's see if we can do some smaller details. Nope, it looks too old. Okay. I should just merge these two layers. There's no point separating. Okay, mustache. Let's do the beard, another layer. Let's see. 0.1. Let me see. There we go. All 9 are written. Just got to write them down. All 9 are written. Okay. So now you got to revise and like add and develop pretty much. Yeah, that's one thing that I just telling my wife today. She just finished a book that she wrote, and she's in the editing process. Like she's doing everything herself, and I'm helping her here and there, and I should be more involved. But you know, she wants to do things her way, and I was like, okay, just come back to me when you need me. Um, she's in the editing process, and the editing process is a pain. Like I'm just like, I don't know how people do it. The back and forth. When it comes to editing, it's just like when I was in school, I hated the process of the teacher revising, giving me my paper back for me to revise it and resubmit it. Like that was such a pain for me. And I write here and there, but I really like, I don't know. I'll do one-offs. Like I'll sit down and write a bunch, and then never look at it again. And years later, I'll look at it again. Okay. So yeah, so you don't finish pretty much. Like you would, as you're editing, you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, that's the hard part, right? But like I was saying earlier, like man, I really think like in this the sketch, right? So like you were saying, this is sort of like your writing. So when I did this is like just planting the idea. Like I have the idea solid. Like yeah, I want to do it. So let me just put something down on paper. Boom, put something down. That was like 2 weeks ago, and then today I picked it up again. I'm like, all right, let's go. Boom, got it to a point where it really looks like I can then finalize it. And I could have probably refined a couple of things here, there, and more. Uh, refine things here, more refine things more here and there. But hold on one sec. Yeah, I could have refined it more, but let me just take a screenshot of this because hold on one sec. Just in case I lose that video. Yeah, so when I got to this point, I'm like, all right, time to do some lines, and like I spent some time in the face, but like I was telling one of the other guys that was here earlier, I was like, he's saying that he was drawing Kendrick's face, and it's such a hard face to draw. So I did something, and I'm like, I'm just laying down something to have, and then I did the body. Then I'm coming back to the face now because now I want to like get some similarities in it, you know. Hey Jazz, thank you for coming in. This is dope. Watching art come to life is underrated. Ah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so now I'm in the point of like I have some like the essence of it. Now I need to add something more to make it look like I added my flavor, because this is especially something like this pose has been in such a short time has been done so much that I need to get creative of like what am I adding to this piece. So like right now I have the technical part, but then the creativity needs to kick in, and like what's I can replicate something, but what makes this piece special, you know thank you for coming through, Jazz, and give him some likes. All right, I think that's good enough. Let me add some details here. This foot is a little weird. Mm. I should just write then edit, but I edit as I write. Yeah. And if so, one thing that I heard about that is like when you're writing, it's good to write on. Like I have a crappy notebook always laying around. I have like some notes that I do online, but I have this little notebook and I write a bunch of stuff, And usually they say like it's better to write in pen, um, because that way you just got to keep going. And then like the second draft, like of course you go back and you edit it on the computer, like if you transfer and stuff. But it's always better to have like your first thoughts and like some development on with pen, because it's gonna be harder to erase. There was a point when I would be sketching, that I would start a sketch on the computer, and I would just draw whatever, right? And I'll just delete it. I'll press, because it was so easy to delete. Like you just do whatever, boom, 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 and I'm like, what the heck is this? And then I'll just click delete, and then the whole time I was doing something, then I ended up with nothing, just because of my thought, right? Like, oh, I can do it again, or um, it's so easy to delete that if I'm not happy, I can just click erase. So I started creating this habit of just like drawing something and just saving it. Like even if it's just like a doodle, just save it and put it away. And I created a bunch of like folders, like sketches folders, a folder for characters, folder for a bunch of stuff. So I started separating everything, and you know whenever I need ideas, sometimes I go back into those sketches and I choose to develop one or two. And like if I'm looking for characters for a story, and this is me thinking in the future. Like I don't do it often. Like I wish I would be creating more stories where I would be grabbing from my old sketches. Um, but one day I hope to just go back into all those sketches and grab from those throwaway sketches that I had. And funny enough, like there will be times that I'll be sketching something or drawing something, and without knowing, I'll draw the same thing again. And I don't know if it happens often, but I'm like, all right, so I guess this thing really wants to live. Comes back to being the forefront. All right, let's see. All right, Kendrick. Let me just go into. All right, so this is the other part. Right now, we're done. I think I'm pretty done with the line art. Now I have to color it. So for coloring, okay, so I've been live for 2 hours now. That's fast. Let's choose an orange, just so it's easier to see. Let's hide this shadow, this layer. Many ways to for me to color, right? But this is a method that I go just around the whole piece, and they just fill the whole drawing. Not so exciting, but you know, the technical part of drawing is it's also meditative. Like I like to think of this process of like, all right, let's just fill it up and try not to get out of the line. Sometimes I use the lasso tool, this thing, and I just boom, and it's done. But you know, there's always a different technique for different days. And what I do, I just do the whole drawing. I just fill it up completely, and then later on I'll switch the colors by making layers, making masking layers. I'm not 100% happy with these shoes, but they look weird as they are, so I'm just going along with it. And it is almost 3 o'clock here. Just leave it at, when I fill it up, I should just leave it at that. When I get to a point that I feel like, oh, this is good enough, I can close it out, just fill it up and do it in sections. Another thing that I may do as I progress is just fill it up with darker shadows, just because that's something that I've been wanting to get better at, like creating deeper shadows to make more of a contrast. But always is great to have formulas to do anything, right? Like that way you don't get lost in the sauce, right? I'll start. This is the same method that I've done many times, so I know what I'm doing now. So I'm not guessing. The guessing work is the sketch and exploring of shapes and like sort of style. I feel like Kenji looks like a little person in a way because his head is big. I may fix that, may not. And these are the times to fix certain things, like in the sketching process, the line art process, before the shadows. I say, like, it's good to have those concepts down of like exactly what you want to see. But you know, you can always make a change because this is digital, so it's not so hard. Sometimes it is dreadful to make those changes after certain things have happened. Like you later on notice that proportions are off or he's leaning too much to one side or the other, you can always fix it, right? Oops. All right, let's see. And there we go. We have a solid drawing. Now, time to fill in some gaps. I want to make his grin a little bit more, a little bit bigger. And you see, so before I add, like I start coloring it in, I'm just blocking out the whole shape because now I create a mask and then just color things inside. But I still feel like there's some tiny details that I want to explore deeper. See. Let's make it smile a little bit richer. Go back to the Artclstudios brush. Is beard separate? Oh, I see. So I added some beard in this one. Separating some elements sometimes makes it easier when you're editing. So you don't worry so much about changing so many things up. And then I also like to leave like some markings. I just like to remember the size of the brush so that when I come back, I don't, it doesn't look too off because the brush I'm using is sort of like there's no line variation unless you, there's no pressure variation. You don't know what I'm trying to say. Oh, the camera went away. Let's see if it comes back. Those are signs telling me to finish this live stream. There. All right, so I'm almost done with the stream, and I may continue this some other time. I don't want to say anymore when I'm coming back to do streams because every time I start talking about like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be live again soon, blah blah blah, it doesn't happen that way. So until I find myself like in a rhythm, I do have a schedule somewhat that I like to follow, but it doesn't work the way that I always plan it. Something always comes and changes my plans. So I will be live soon, sometime in the future. So put on notifications if you follow me, or if you don't follow me and like the video, and You'll be notified when I go live next time. Just feel like I gotta do a couple more things. Over here. And I'm kind of surprised. Like the moment I added the mustache and the beard, it sort of looked like Kendrick. Like if I take it off, it looks like someone. Let me take off this mustache and put it on the other layer, just so that I can, oops, just so that I can clearly, oops, separate the two. So yeah, looks somewhat like Kendrick, and like somewhat Kendrick, somewhat Kendrick. All right, let's see what else. Still feel like his smile needs to be bigger. And this is another reason why I like to separate certain things, because now I can grab that and the mustache stays the same. But oh, well, no, that's fine. Let's see if I grab this edge and bring it up. Okay, so yep, the smile is good. Now the eyes, I feel like I gotta squint his eyes more. Let's go back to this second, is 11? No, 5% brush. Let's see if I do this, what happens. There's so many ways to fix things and go about things that sometimes you feel like you're never be done. That's why when it comes to, there comes a point that you just like, all right, I just got to keep moving. So that added something. Just move his eyes a little higher. Like I warped them. Too much maybe? No, I feel like, let's see. Okay, now I gotta make the eye bigger. It's coming along, it's coming along. And then make it smaller. Move it that way, and then fill up the eyes. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right, so this is it. I will leave it here. Thank you those who tune in, who watched, who interacted, who said hello. Appreciate your time, your presence, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. It's 5 a.m. here in New York. I'll check back on the video. Have a good one. Hey, thank you for sharing, man. Have a good one. Peace out. Thank you.